Right, this is a little introduction into your 3D project where you're going to be using lots of different materials. We're going to be going through looking at using paper, wire and clay and cardboard. Before we do that, just when you are using any of these materials, you need a bit of the health and safety check. So you are using like pliers, which are quite sharp, scissors, knives. So whenever you are using them, make sure you've got yourself a cutting board so you're not destroying the table. And also, if you are cutting a straight line, using a metal ruler that's got a nice grid in the middle there for you to put your fingers, and also always direct the knife away from your body. And also when using wire, make sure you have your goggles on so you don't get bits of wire in your eyes or whatever. Right, for your 3D project, you're going to need to use different materials. So I'm going to show you a few demonstrations of techniques that we can use when using paper. First one, to cut. You're doing a straight line, so it's advisable to use a ruler. Metal ruler. And then when you're cutting a curved line, if you move the paper around and keep it on the line that you've made. And use a ruler for the straight edge. Cut. Next one, fold. Cut into the paper. In this case I'm going to make 2 lines. And then fold it. Next one's pierce. For this one, if you get a nice sharp object and then basically just pierce it. You can either pierce it down into your board or lift it up slightly, pierce it. Get a lovely sound when you do that. You see there it's been pierced. Next one. Look at its curl. This one, pair of scissors, hold the back of your paper. Do it a few times, get a nice curl. Next one, rip. Rip the paper. The next one, crease. Also, a few rips in there as well. Right, next material we can use in 3D is card. So I'm going to show you a few examples and then demonstrate how we could do this with cards. The first one is to get either a smooth bit of card or you can get it so it's corrugated, like so. So with that would be a smooth bit of card, so you could cut a piece of card that you could use and it's smooth. Second one, if you look at pulling the inside there, you can see it's corrugated there, so you could pull that section. Sometimes you'll get bits of stick like that, you just have to pull them off. You can also use the inside section there as well, which is some nice texture onto it. And once you have done that, it's a sort of that you can get, you can cut that out. And that could be used. So I'll just put them to the side in a minute, I'll come back to those. The next thing is once you've cut that, what you can actually do with it. So there we can roll a piece of card up, you can make strips. I'll just show you how we can do that with this piece. So if I'm going to roll it, we just roll card up. You can get a nice effect there, and also around the edge you can loosen that depending on what you're working with. The other way is the strips. do it that way. There. So it's up to you, depending on what you're creating in 3D. Could work with them. The other thing we could do is cut up little pieces which you could stick. If I just show you examples of that, you can either stick them that way, or you could stick them flat down. Those are like the strips. Have layer pieces as well. The other thing we can do is cut out a shape. For example, there we've got a circle, and then if you stick all of those together, you can build up, like in that case, a coil or whatever you wanted. So if I was going to do that, I could do it with little squares. Which I could layer. If you're sticking things together, you could use PVA glue to put them together, and you get a nice effect by doing that as well. Instead, looking at that, sticking them together, that would be the sort of effect you would get. For example, if that were using circles, so you cut out your individual circles, obviously get them the right size to make that. The other thing we could do is, if you've got a hole punch, you could punch a hole into them. And either have a hole in your piece of cardboard, or the bits that have come out, you can stick them and create a nice effect with your cardboard as well. And then think about all them techniques I've just shown you. If you put them all together, you could use that to create your 3D sculpture. So you can see there they've cut out circles, that corrugated, strips of card they've put, corrugated card they've put around the edge, and they've built up their sculpture. Right. Right then, first thing with now going to look at wire. So when we are doing wire, we can create some lovely things like this. It's a good idea to think when you are looking at wire. For example, there, if you're looking at a figure, that you're thinking about drawing with wire. So you're looking at simple shapes that you can see, like you would do when you are drawing, and think about that when you are working with wire. So it's got a few bits of wire to get started. So like I said there, you want to think about a simple shape. So if I was going to make a circle, you put the wire together, but then because they've got two ends, you've got to somehow join them. So the easiest way to do that is just wrap the wire around, like you can see there, and it's now together. Okay, then you want to think about getting another piece, and you can either add that to that piece now, like so. So again, I'm just wrapping that wire around, and then I'd be looking at whatever subject matter or object I'm working from and looking at the shape of it. So if that was the top, I'd be then looking at where this needs to go, what other shape I need to add onto it. So it could, for example, go like that. And then I'd join that piece on. So you can see it's building up nicely. Other things we can do with wire is you can twist the wire, and if you're struggling like that with your wire, you could get something to help you with that. So you could get your pliers to hold the wire down, and then you can twist wire. So you've got to be in control of it. You've got to let the wire know that what sort of shape you're trying to make. You could do that also with a pencil. So use your tools that you've used before. You could curl that round and take it out. You made a nice little effect into it. And then we can always add those to things that you have made. So whenever you made other little bits.